Hey Haga, East Haga. This is Iffy Smaga from Washington Waga EC Dogga. What Owen Briangles.
RuPaul makes queer black HerStory.
Ask your aunties, age gap.
And curiosities get nasty. So get your cups ready for MinoriTea Report.
Hey.
Morning.
Hey, Auntie.
It's Monday.
It's President's Day. So
Yes.
I got it off today, so I'm chilling at home listening to this episode.
I'm jealous because I don't work for a company that recognizes it as a holiday off.
As a holiday. It's my first time.
But girl, you work from home every day.
I work, from home.
I get the job done. I work, baby. I get the job done.
Hey.
I work. Baby.
Like the thing with working from home though is like you feel like even more under the microscope. You know?
do.
So like,
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I feel like I have
yeah.
to perform that much more working from home. So yeah.
So you be
it'd
sending
stressful.
emails that just say thank you just so that you have some.
It's true.
For real.
It's so true.
No, for real.
I be making sure my Instagram, or not my Instagram, my AOL, whatever, the AIM, the instant messenger at work, be making sure that shit stay green.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I really do.
I don't even think about it anymore. If I'm working from home, I may be working, I may not be.
Well,
But you know what, though? I will say, I do, like, with my job now, I can get a lot done with just my phone. Because we don't have, like a network. We're all in the cloud. Mm-hmm. So I could literally work from anywhere, anytime, anywhere. And I don't have to worry about VPNing in and all that kind of bullshit, which is so nice. It also means that when I'm getting those emails, because I'm type A, if I get an email, I can't look at those little dots or those little like notifications on the apps.
Really?
If I see one of those, I got to look at it and I got to clean it off. So that's like the one kind of like downside of it. But usually if I'm working from home, I'm getting a lot of stuff done, but I don't feel obligated. If I have a day where I just need to take a mental break, then I just take a mental break and, I get my hours and work in elsewhere.
Exactly. Yeah, I have a lot more freedom in my new job than I ever did at my old one, which is good.
Are you liking your new job?
I am.
Yeah.
It's keeping me busy. It's just interesting to have to relearn, and you're going through it right now, just like I was with my old job for almost 13 years. Mm-hmm. So you knew who to talk to, you knew who to schmooze, you just knew the ins and outs day in and out. Yeah. So having to relearn that again has been interesting, and especially now since I'm at the client, so I'm learning the dynamics at the client of who to talk to and the schmooze and all that stuff. And then also internally at my company, who to talk to, who to schmooze, who to get to know, who's, and all that stuff.
Oh, she's a hooker. She's talking about.
I'm a private dancer. Dancer for money.
Do what you want me to
do.
She said, do you want to see me do the shimmy again? So that's been probably the interesting part. I won't say it's hard, but it's just like having to go through that again. I had kind of forgot, and it was just years of gaining that knowledge that is no longer useful, and rebuilding that knowledge bank again. But yes, so far so good. I can't complain. Thanks for asking.
It's so wild. It's just so wild, like, because I can relate to what you're going through. The last company I was with them for 4 years, so not nearly as long, as you and with your company. So, but I'm in this weird space. It's very like bittersweet, like I still have memories of like the little lunches and things that I would do with my old coworkers and all our little like inside jokes and things we would do as part of like the HR team and all that kind of fun stuff, and like the people that you would IM, in a meeting, when the meeting's going on or whatever to talk shit. And, and the people that were like your ride or dies. And then like I'm in this new company and it's like you're forging all new relationships.
Absolutely.
And it's just like, it's wild because it's just, I don't know, like.
And it's almost draining some days. Like you don't realize it when you're doing it, but then you come home and you're like, I had to be on all day forging these new relationships. Yeah. And so... And I mean, it's just the name of the game, honestly. But
It's exciting though. Like I feel so invigorated and just passionate about like this new chapter and like with this new company. And like I'm also proud of myself, like stepping out of my comfort zone of like, apparel retail. I've been in that for the majority of my professional career. And, moving into the space of cannabis, it's like a whole new, like a completely different kind of world.
It's a whole new high.
Yes. A whole new high.
Come on,
songs. A million kinds of cannabis.
Love it.
Shoot. We just got back from a market visits, and it's really wild seeing this whole world of cannabis. Like in some markets it's like medically, you have medical use marijuana or cannabis, and then you have recreational, and you have some that like in Michigan and Illinois that just flipped from medical only to recreational. So everybody's trying to figure this thing out. Like cannabis has been around for a while. You go to like older markets. Like a couple weeks ago, I was in California and Oregon with my team. Hey team, I know y'all listening. And we went out there with my team, and it was just really eye-opening, like how like cannabis there is like going to the supermarket. It's like going to the bodega. Or like a corner store,
to the
like
liquor store.
Everything is just out. Everything, like the flower is out. You could smell it. You can experience it. They have like smoking rooms like in the store. Like you can just buy it and then light up right there. It's just it's wild. And then you come back to like the middle of the United States, or you go to like the East Coast where it's much more a new thing, and it's like everything's under lock and key. There's some states where you can't show anything that looks like a marijuana plant at all. Like it's really interesting. So I'm just like so invigorated. Like this is just so exciting to like see all of this new stuff and experience all this new stuff, but still being able to bring like the core of like what I do best, to the market.
Yeah, but before we get too far here, we should also say thanks, Smiffy, for bringing us in today with the intro.
Hey, Smiffy.
Yes, Smiffy.
Yes,
thank you for that delicious tea.
Yeah,
your Piggy Latin.
Piggy Latin.
Piggy Latin.
I used to speak Pig Latin all the time with my great grandfather because he was in World War II. And that was something that a lot of Black folks in the war had to use to kind of communicate between each other. And then like a really good friend of mine, Dee Dee, in high school, her and I speak Pig Latin a lot too in class because her great grandfather was in the war too. So she grew up doing the same thing. So it was just kind of cool, like, just at one point to be able to kind of continue that. And
look at you dropping these Black History gems left and right. Come on now.
Just a little
well, we did say we were going to be blackity black, extra black this month, right?
Absolutely.
So we need to wave that flag.
Exactly. But thank you, Smiffy. Thank you for taking the time to do that.
I remember the first time that I heard about Pig Latin. I thought they was lying. Because I mean, it sounds fake though. Like if you explain what Pig Latin is to somebody, it sounds like something like 14-year-olds made up.
Yeah, it might have been a 14-year-old who made it up. Honestly, I don't know who made up Pig Latin. That's a good question.
I don't even know. That is a good question.
Alexa. Turn my black all the way up, please.
Speaking of black, we do have a couple of Black history moments on this day. On February 17th in 1870, Congress passed the resolution readmitting Mississippi on conditions that it would never change its constitution to disenfranchise Blacks. I wish that wasn't something that they followed and still paid attention to this day.
Yeah. Girl. I was about to say.
So I'm going to need this to be updated.
They dropped the ball.
Okay,
right.
I'm gonna need this to be updated because somebody's still lying, right? Okay, for real.
Look, we still got lynchings in Michigan University stores.
Okay.
Like even our toys ain't safe. Damn.
Right. Come on.
Right. Also, February 17th, 1963. Michael Jeffrey Jordan, famed basketball player and former minor league baseball player, was born in New York, New York.
Okay, right, come on, MJ.
Yes.
Wanna be like Mike.
That must have been back. That must have been back when they wore long pants to play sports. Now they wear shorts.
But they're bringing the shorts back, though. They're bringing the shorts back.
They are. LeBron kind of started that.
I want to see something pop out.
Okay.
You know what? Look, she looking at the screen upside down. She watching the whole game upside down.
Right. Like trying to say, it's like, can I see up there?
Right. She's like,
let me say I'm the nasty one.
She's like, let me get a tip slip. I need a tip slip real quick.
Look, don't let that champagne start flowing.
Look, fun fact, they don't wear cups in football anymore. So, you should be watching football because what you see is real.
What you see is what you get.
Mm-hmm.
And this was a Black History lesson by Jerrell.
The more you know. And community, how are you doing this morning? Hopefully you're doing well, but please be sure to subscribe, share, and download with your family, your friends, your black friends for Black History Month. We're POC LGBTQIA plus podcast. So if you have people looking for a new podcast, be like, hey, Minority Report. If you have people looking for a new gay podcast, Minority Report. If you have someone looking for whatever, Minority Report, bitch.
Don't cost a cent.
It doesn't cost a thing. Our podcast don't cost a thing.
You know what?
Done. What is in the water today?
Didn't skip a beat. Not a single damn beat.
Oh, man. So, y'all watched the Oscars last week, I'm sure, last weekend.
I didn't watch the Oscars.
You saw the oh, yeah, that's true. You always do the recaps.
Yeah, I did the recap. So I watched the day after show when they do all the, the fashion reviews and just tell you who all won. So you don't have to watch everything.
Yeah, it was boring. It might have been the most boring one yet.
Yeah.
It was we were sitting there why is it so terribly boring?
There was only three things that I liked about it. The opening with Janelle Monáe.
Yep.
Cynthia Erivo. Fucking
she killed it.
Oh my God. I was moved. My spirit was like, oh.
I was like, come on, Cynthia.
Yes, I'm here for it. And then I liked what's his name? James Gordon. When James Gordon and what's her name came out.
Oh, James Corden.
Yeah.
James Corden. Yeah, James Corden.
Yes.
And I forget the other
oh, man,
name.
What is her name?
Amy
Damn, I see her
something?
face. But they came out as cats.
Yes.
And clowned their own selves.
Yes, and they clowned their own selves. That was funny.
That was.
But other than that, I think the coolest thing was, what's his name? Bong Ho, right? Is that his name?
Rebel Wilson's her name.
Rebel Wilson's her name.
It just came to me. Okay,
but what was the guy from South Korea? Bong Ho?
The Parasites director?
Mm-hmm.
Bong Joon-ho or something like that?
Bong Joon-ho. I like that Parasite was representing for the POCs.
It had to.
Man, because we were not getting anything for nominations or wins or nothing. So I was like, yes, I'm absolutely
they got
here for
director,
this.
they got best film, they got best international film. So they was racking up. But the only thing, too, is just I felt like the Oscars knew they were so white. They knew that narrative was out there. And then they tried to force the POC narrative during the show. Getting Janelle Monáe and Billy Porter. And I forget the Indian. Well,
we'll get there.
That's a whole other thing. We'll get to that point.
A whole other thing.
But even that Indian guy that did the rap and everything, I was like, they're forcing it because they know there's no other way that POCs are in here tonight.
Right.
And Chris, I like the opening, even though they didn't have hosts, with Chris Rock and Steve Martin. How Chris Rock was calling them out to their face, hey. He said, "There's no POCs and there's not enough vagina." So I was like,
I mean, there was no lie. There was no
lie.
I know, and then I loved Joaquin Phoenix's speech too. I think that was probably the one speech of the night that I thought was amazing. And
But show wasn't old girl that played Judy, Renee.
Oh, Renee. Oh,
I don't know what the hell she was talking about.
Well, she was probably trying to find her face still, because that's still going through some things.
That part.
When your life and your face got two separate journeys. I don't know where you're gonna meet in the middle, but
not separate journeys. Oh my goodness! Come through, passport.
Poor Renee.
Can we get some clear over here?
Oh, bless her heart.
But other than that, I mean, I think the fashion was probably the highlight of the whole show.
Who'd you like?
Janelle Monáe looked just
killer.
Oh my God. I can't say the correct words to describe how I felt when I first saw her. I just was just like, all I could start thinking was, I'm every woman. It just gave me that, that just woman, I'm just like here to represent and you gonna see me. I just loved that.
It was gorgeous.
I liked Billy Porter's top. I felt like
I like the top and the boots.
Yeah, I just felt like the bottom just kind of was more of a distraction that kind of pulled focus a little bit from the top, if that makes sense.
I agree.
But that top was fierce.
I agree. And I like he did like almost like the 30s slick back hair.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I was like, that was cute.
Yeah, he was good. And then I love Gal Gadot's outfit.
Gadot.
Yeah, she looked amazing. That whole
vintage
outfit.
Chanel.
Yes. I was like, go ahead, girl. Go ahead. She slayed that. So that was mine. But what about our fashion expert, Miss Hawkins?
Come on, Dawon.
I there are a couple that I found really just stunning. I agree. Janelle Monáe's outfit was just captivating. You know what I mean? Like, and it's made me start to wonder. It just made me start to wonder, like, are we starting to, with Billy and, kind of his over the top, kind of like, tongue in cheek, kind of in your face fashion choices lately. And I'm just wondering if people are starting to go more camp than like fashion. Because what Janelle Monáe was wearing was kind of borderline camp, in terms of like the over exaggerated plume of the dress, the fact that it was beaded all over, it's kind of one silhouette with a hood and all that kind of fun stuff. Doesn't take away from the fact that she looked stunning and she was definitely one of the best dressed there.
I'm just happy I remember what camp mean after last year's gala, because I was like, what is camp? What we going? Like,
who got the marshmallows?
It came back to me real quick. She said camp. was like, oh, I know what that means.
Yeah.
I'm cultured.
That's interesting.
Growth.
Growth. Exactly. That's interesting you say that, because I feel that, but then you still had like the Charlize Therons and the Regina Kings that went back with like the old Hollywood glamour still. So it's like kind of like this like yin and yang, and there's nobody in the middle anymore.
Yeah, I agree. I really liked Charlize Theron's entire look.
Yeah.
That kind of super dark evergreen velvet that just literally dripped off of her body, with that like swoop over the left breast underneath and underneath her shoulder around her upper arm, just was stunning.
Yeah.
Absolutely stunning.
I wasn't as taken aback by it, just because like in my mind she is just so fucking gorgeous. I don't expect anything less. Like when I see her, I'm like, that's cute. That's exactly for her. I'm never wowed because I can't see
you
her.
never see her raggedy.
Right. I'm just like, it's just a standard. Like the bitch, the bitch is tens across the board.
Yes,
she
just
just body be snatched, hair be snatched, outfit be snatched, nails be snatched,
all the damn time.
Yeah.
She just be together. I'm like,
and
the
thing that's really hard about that is that she has been a brand ambassador for Dior for the last 10, 15
commercial
years.
is still everything, bitch. Everything.
She's like giving us the who's the white diamonds woman?
Elizabeth Taylor.
Yes, she's like the modern day Elizabeth Taylor. That commercial is going to be running for like the next 30 years.
Oh, for real, it could.
But because she's the brand ambassador for that house, that fashion house, she always wears Dior. So it's really, really hard for her to like you know, how do you present very different looks when the same designer is making your outfits every single time, but she
especially when it's Dior.
Yeah.
Because Dior's very classic looks. It's not like edgy.
It's old Hollywood.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not like Givenchy or something like that where they kind of, or Alexander McQueen, where they're like pushing it. They're like, no, we're going to give you these amazing silhouettes that just fit a woman's body. And you look gorgeous every time, but it's not edgy.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So I like Scarlett Johansson. I thought she looked gorgeous too. She kind of had like a silver, I don't know what the, like almost like a silver.
With a corset. Like, it was like corseted top with like the kind of like strands or whatever.
Yeah. It almost looked like metal strands.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought her hair looked gorgeous.
I like Natalie Portman's jacket, her cape. With the embroidered
with the names
of snub actresses. I thought that
Come
was
on,
like,
politics.
You make a statement. And
that's the way to do it. I feel like almost like the Vanity Fair after party, though, have like the best looks. More so than like the Oscars anymore. Like, I feel like you see more edgy and risk at the Vanity Fair after party than anything. Like, did you see the Fab Five, the Queer Eye guys, what they wore? Stunning. Like, I'm at this point where I always say I want the meat dress Gaga. And especially when it comes to like the guys, it's just like, I'm so tired of just a black tux or double-breasted black tux. And the Fab Fives, obviously Jonathan always wears like his gowns and stuff like that. But even the four other guys took risks in what they wore. Like, Tan kind of almost had like this shorter blazer with like a big bow tie and like kind of almost like a wide leg trouser. I don't know how to describe it. And then Anthony had like this brown chocolatey kind of like double breasted, and he could just wear whatever because he's just fine as hell anyway. But and then even like Bobby Burke wore like a smoky eye with like a waist trainer looking corset kind of thing with a blazer and stuff. So I'm like, come on, dude, especially if you're queer, push the envelope because like it almost gives you the opportunity to do so because you don't have to worry about this masculinity piece that people always who are straight kind of worry about. Be like, oh, what are they going to say about me? Bitch, I'm all of 100% myself in my manhood and my femininity and all the above, you know? So I love seeing the dudes push the envelope. Because I don't think anyone else did last week.
No, and there weren't enough black people for me.
I mean, absolutely.
Oh, just I mean, not even nominated, but just like attending.
Well, and that's one thing we gotta say. We gotta give Hair Love a shout out because Hair Love did win an Oscar for best animated short feature film, which was really awesome. And I do love that in that the speech for the writer, they also shout out that they brought the young man that they were going to let graduate unless he cut his hair.
Yeah, the dreadlocks.
Yep.
So I thought that was good. Who was that? Was that Gabrielle Union or somebody? Somebody had invited him.
Gabrielle Union had invited him.
It was Gabrielle.
I think so.
She just stays winning for everybody. She's like our Rosa Parks.
I don't know about all that, but I do like her. She might be Rosa's homegirl.
Right.
That
she called. But I mean, like,
she's over really, there, you know.
Right. like she was like Rosa's homegirl that she called when she got home. Like, girl, guess what happened to me today?
You know, she gave her the bail really money. That's what it was.
Plate, though.
Right, she the bail money.
You know what? Not the bails. But like what I like about her is that she really steps up to the plate. Like she's been using this year she's been using this year as like the year of being an ally. And it's not even just like to her own son, you know, but it's to people out there, you know, not only and for herself, you know, with the whole hoopla over the America's Got Talent and Superstars.
And Superstars.
You just be making up titles.
She showed the girl. She was like, I don't watch it.
Did you like Cynthia's outfit, by the way?
I liked her outfit. I didn't like the outfit she performed in, though.
Yeah. Like, she stayed pushing the edge, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And I feel like her white outfit was okay. It was fine. And then once she performed it, I was like, no.
But you know what? Guess what? She sounded so damn good. You just be like, I'm just gonna block cover with the screen right here where her head is. You know, and I'm just gonna close my eyes and just let my ears be just orgasmed. Her voice is like
she sang the mess out.
She sure did. She sure did. Speaking of shows, did y'all see RuPaul on Saturday Night Live last week?
I did.
Yes.
I did. And I thought he did a good job.
I did too.
I thought he did a good job.
Yeah.
I didn't.
No?
No.
What didn't you like?
But you know what? Like, I have to keep in mind that it's not like he's like a trained like a trained actor, you know, even though he dabbles in acting here and there. I don't know. Like, I think my hopes up were too high. You know what I mean? Because I was expecting.
AJ and the Queen. You watched AJ and the Queen, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
Okay,
I did.
No,
okay. Because I was going to say, if you watched that, then you got exactly what you was expecting.
Exactly.
That's basically what it was.
I was just like, I don't know, and I don't like. First of all, like, big props, because it's not easy getting up on that stage, and it's certainly not easy delivering those lines in front of like all those people and doing it live. So I think that that's amazing. And, you know, for what the visibility is doing, every time we have a platform, no matter who it is, to be able to speak out about loving yourself and cherishing who you are, learning to love who you are, and standing in your own truth. I think that's amazing, because that's what I really appreciate about
too. Because Rue's damn near 6. I said, and the journey as well, because Rue is damn near 60.
Yeah.
And has been in the public eye for 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
And to show that if you continue with your craft and doing things that you love, you'll still be able to get these opportunities, you know, that a lot of people might not have thought you would be able to get, probably. Especially like when she first was like coming on the scene, like, supermodel, you better work. Like, I'm sure people would never in a million years thought Rue would still be relevant in 2020, hosting SNL, having primetime TV shows, having opportunities to get your own talk show. Like, these things as a queer man that did drag, and you're like 6'6", so you can't like hide.
Right.
That part of it more than anything. Yes, could she have acted better? Absolutely. And like Jerrell said, if you watch AJ and the Queen, it is what it is, you know. But I just, like you said, Dawon, look at the totality of it, of her keeping these windows and doors open for the next generation is incredible.
Yeah, I like the couple of sketches that she did. I like the one with the thirsty cops. that was cute. Funny. That was cute. I like the Drag Race cover one where they were doing the cover shot, and then Pete Davidson was going to be the new drag, next drag
Chad.
superstar, Chad.
That was funny.
And
that
then,
was probably the funniest one.
And the charades one was funny too.
Charades was funny as hell.
Funny.
She said, he's doing the Marlon Wayans face. Don't drink. Don't be a mess such about drinking your juice in the hood.
No, when he said, no, you can't talk. They said you can't talk.
14. 14.
She said the first one's a number, so keep that in mind. And then pointed to the white man. 12 years a slave.
Oh my God, that was funny as hell.
And that white man was like, wait, what makes me think about 12 years a slave? They laughed.
Oh, yeah, no, that might have been the funniest.
That was the funniest one for me. Although I found it kind of interesting, though, that both times Pete Davidson was in the sketches, he was kind of flirting with his sexuality.
Did I tell? I don't know if I told this on this. Hold on, let me think. On the podcast, I might have told you guys outside the podcast. So here's a little tea.
Ooh.
So, so at the remember the beginning of this season, Pete wasn't on, and people like the rumors were like, "Where's Pete? Is he mentally in a mental hospital?" Because all the Ariana stuff had like been that all summer. So literally, that Saturday Night Live season premiere this year, I forget who was in town, had friends in town, and we were at Swingin' Richards. And if y'all don't know Community, what Swingin' Richards is, I think we've talked about it a couple times.
It's Dick 30. Let's call it Dick 30.
It's Dick 30. We call it the ballet here in Atlanta.
Not the ballet. Come on, Alvin Ailey.
It's a all nude gay male strip club. So leaving the strip club, I'm walking out, and I almost bump into this guy, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry, my bad." And I look at him, and then I do a double take. I'm like, that's Pete Davidson. His ass was walking into Swinging Richards with a friend.
What?
Yes. And so, like, I'm texting the guys that ended up staying there later. I'm like, hey, like, look towards the door of who's walking in. You'll recognize who it is. And then literally they're like, is that Pete Davidson? Is that Pete Davidson? Is that Pete Davidson? Yeah, walking into Swinging Richards. So he might either A, have some fluidity, or B, at least supports his friends and everything within the community, and he has no hangups of, you know, being in that environment.
He did an article for, I think it was like Rolling Stone or something like that, where he talked about how he used to jack off to a poster of Leonardo DiCaprio.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I remember that. Yeah.
And the rumor is Pete's mighty hung, too.
I was just going to say that because that was part of the joke in one of the skits, too.
Oh, yeah.
With Rue and Chad. Mm-hmm. But that's quite
like,
often.
You have a nice penis.
No, but Rue did all right. I would, you know, I didn't have my hopes up too high. It was exactly what I expected. So
I would have loved more of like the play into like the drag piece. Like I would have loved to have brought out like some of the drag queens into some of the skits. I would have loved there to be kind of like a riff off of like, you know, like what's the thing that she always says?
Sashay, you stay.
No, for your life. Lip sync for your life. You know, like I would have loved for like some kind of like riff off of that with like maybe Cecily Strong and Amy. I forget what her name. Amy.
She got that show. She has that show on Hulu.
No, it's 80.
80, yeah, the cast member.
Yeah.
But I would have loved to have seen something like that. I think that was where it was like kind of missing for me. Like I said, I don't want to take away from like the shine of, the fact that she got up there and this was a big monumental like achievement for LGBT visibility and all that kind of fun stuff. But I was hoping for like a little bit more. Like even the skit with like Pete Davidson, I felt like it could have been pushed a little bit further. Like it was like towards the end, it was like, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like all of Saturday Night Live is like that for me. If I'm being honest, like no matter no matter who comes on to the show, like they, I find myself always kind of being disappointed. You know, even with some of the actual real actors.
Yeah. You know who kills it every time though? Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks, yes, he does.
Tom Hanks kills it every single
because
time.
He's motherfucking Tom Hanks.
Yeah. I mean, yes, but like. I remember that skit that came out around around Halloween, and he was, I forget what the name was. I'm Mr. Skimpkins, and it was a couple people in an elevator, and they would stop, and it would be Tom Hanks and then two backup dancers, and they would be dancing, doing this weird dance or whatever, and would hit each other on the butts, and he goes, "I'm Mr. Skimpkins" or whatever. And it just happened over and over and over.
I'm going to check that one out.
Hilarious. Yeah. It sounds so stupid. And the first time that I watched it, I was just like, this is so stupid. But then when I rewatched it on like repeat, I was just like, this is the funniest thing I've seen in so long.
Huh.
He kills it.
And maybe one day your aunties will be on SNL. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, speaking of the drag stuff, though, that you were hoping to see more on Saturday Night Live, are you excited for that the Black Drag show that you're going to be going to in March?
Girl, I am too excited. I think that it was so happenstance that I ran across that ad because there's always shit going on here in New York. Always. Yeah. And there'll be sometimes, I remember I got a text from a girlfriend of mine, and she was like, "Oh, hey, Solange is going to be performing at St. James Cathedral or whatever." And I was like, "Oh, really? How do we get tickets?" And I went on to look up tickets, and they were already sold out. And it was announced a half an hour before that. Just stuff like that happens. So what I've been finding is if I see something, I'm going to go right to it and see if I can get tickets because there's no guarantee. And that's how I've stumbled upon Slave Play and a couple of other performances. But yeah, I'm super excited about that. I think this would be the
interesting
first...
they don't have Monet Exchange in that group, though. And maybe just because she's already booked and busy and has her own show and everything. But I was like, okay, out of all, it's Bob the Drag Queen and Monique Hart and
BB Zahara.
BB Zahara, yeah. But I was like, okay, where's Monet Exchange in this group? Because she's like besties with Monique and Bob.
I would imagine it's probably a scheduling conflict.
Yeah.
Because
she's close with all of them.
Right. Yeah. And I'm sure if it would have worked out, if she didn't have another commitment, she would have made it. She would have wanted to be part of it. I have to imagine that. It looks like it was only booked for 2 days, and I'm going on March the 4th. Mm-hmm. And that's a Thursday night, and then this Friday night was already sold out.
And what is it again? Like, explain it to the community.
Basically, what it is that it's the black drag queens from RuPaul's Drag Race, and they decide to do a biggity black, all black, African American black drag show.
Here for it.
It's all black themed. It's all like celebrating melanin and cultural heritage and all of that kind of stuff. So. It'll be really interesting. I'll be really interested to see, what did they perform? What's the dialogue like? And all that kind of fun stuff.
And honestly, this is probably why Ru didn't have any of the queens on the show. Ru's probably like, hey, let me have my own moment. Because I'm already giving you such a platform. Run, children, run.
True.
But at the end of the day, let me also have a little piece of what I need to. And also so I can continue to open these doors for you bitches. Mm-hmm. Because Monet ain't going to be a host in SNL right now. But Monet might get more shine or something behind the scenes that 2 years from now, now it's my time to get on this show, So that's probably why Ru did it that way.
Mm-hmm. I could see somebody like Shangela doing SNL someday, because she's been getting a lot of acting gigs as Shangela, which is really fascinating. And I wonder if that would ever translate into whatever she is as a boy name. I keep thinking Bismarcky, and I'm like, that is not it.
Bismarck. Yeah, I can't with you. Wait, her real name is like Darius or something like that.
Not Darius Rucker.
No, not Darius. No, not Darius Rucker at all.
With you. Adam, that was for you, baby.
Hey.
Speaking of music, Janet Jackson, y'all, girl, cannot wait.
I
cannot wait.
Come on now.
No, cannot
Lord
wait.
Jesus.
And she ended the U.S. tour here in Seattle. Bitch, don't play with me. Don't play with me. It's gonna be lit. She gonna go all out on that last night. Girl.
And I've seen the last 2 tours. So part of me was like, "Oh, am I gonna go?" But then she said a new album. Bitch, I'm there.
Yeah,
I'm there.
It's a wrap. I'm gonna be. But I gotta figure out where to go though, because if I go in New York, I'm gonna pay twice as much. I'm gonna be twice as far away. Mm-hmm. So now I have to figure out, okay, well, do I want to go see it in Chicago?
But then you got to factor in a plane ticket too, though. So is it a wash after
But that's a whole experience.
And have you seen that big of an artist in New York yet?
I saw Phil Collins at the Madison Square Garden.
Okay. Right.
You said who? I can feel it calling in the edge of night.
Boom, boom, boom.
Oh no.
That's about it,
no.
though.
Oh no!
But no, Phil Collins was in Genesis as well, so Phil Collins is big. But we're talking about African American artists, pop queendom of the world. I
haven't. In a large part because it's so expensive here.
Yeah,
it really is. And I don't do the cheap sheets. I don't sit all the way back in the rafters.
You don't really? No.
Not Auntie Chardonnay.
I just don't. I'd rather not go. I'd rather not go than pay $99 and then have to watch the television.
At this point, I could just watch the free bootleg on YouTube if I'm gonna be in these seats.
All the way
exactly.
Back. Exactly. She's like, let me just turn this IG story on real quick.
So I always try to get tickets on the floor. Mm-hmm. As close as I can on the floor, or within that first row. I always like being on the floor because it feels more comfortable standing up. Because you're going to be standing up anyway.
I'm short.
Yeah.
So when bitches start when they start standing, I'll be ready to clock bitches. Be like, get your ass in the bag. You know how this go. Short as the tallest, bitch. Get in the back. Mm-hmm. Let me see. Mm-hmm.
That's why you need an aisle seat.
No.
That's why you need to have the aisle seat so that you have clearance.
You know damn well when black people be performing, people don't give a damn. They don't give out one hot ass monkey.
But luckily, you're in Seattle, so you might get more courteous.
It's in Tacoma where all the black people at. It's in Tacoma where all the black people at. She knew what she was doing.
She knew what she was doing.
She was like, I'm not going to Seattle. My people are in Tacoma.
I can't say it.
So she knew. I ain't mad at her. So I'll be there.
Right.
I'm gonna have to look at those dates and see if I can like figure out a way to.
August 23rd.
I was about to say Atlanta's June 29th.
Look at that.
Damn.
No, the date's already by heart.
Look, I'm waiting. I am waiting. I even text my mom because the last concert I went to hers was in 2016. So what was the album she last came out with?
It was the Unbreakable tour.
Yes. I took my mom to that because my mom's a big Janet Jackson fan. And she had never seen her live. So that was my Christmas gift to my mother, was to take her to see Janet Jackson live in concert.
Aww.
So I took my mom there. We had like a mom-son date and everything. I bought her like an outfit for and everything. I took her to dinner.
That's the way to do it because you got to get that outfit right.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah.
I know that tour I saw in Chicago. We flew because I had just moved to Dallas. Yep, and then I saw Dawon there, I think, and I saw Rashad there. Like everybody was out.
Everybody was there, and we were all like within like rows of each other.
Yes. Yeah, I remember that.
Living our best life. Woo.
I remember that.
And then I saw her here in Atlanta.
Yeah, they only have one New York dates. Usually they throw a couple of extra New York dates in here.
Yeah,
they have a Newark. But they only have one New York.
I think there might be some new dates coming out though. Still,
you would think,
because she don't even have Minneapolis on the list. But
Minneapolis,
like someone pointed out though, Minneapolis was the only U.S. stop she did in this last tour that she did.
Yeah,
or Hawaii too. But that's hard to get to.
But yeah, no, I cannot wait.
I can't wait for a new album.
This is the year of me like meeting all the idols. Like I just met Serena Williams and like I cried twice. Like when I tell you I could have just stuck out my arm and just touched her. Like literally I was that close to her. But I was like, I'm not gonna touch her because that's her personal space.
Right.
And she gonna probably kick my ass out of this bitch. So you know what? Like I'm gonna take my pictures. And I sat there just literally in the first row and just watched her warm up. And you know, like the magnificence you see on TV of Serena Williams?
Yeah.
It's the exact same in person. Like, it's like overwhelming. It's just like, wow, like what you see on TV is legit. It's not the camera ain't at no shit or nothing like that. I was just like, damn. It's just,
I only saw her play her once. I was with Dawon in New York. We went to the U.S. Open.
U.S. Open, baby.
And it was the year she had that tutu.
Yes.
And we're like, yes, come on, Periwinkle tutu.
I lived for it. And our tickets, it was $40 seats. We were 8 rows up from the court.
Wow.
And we were right on the baseline. So like when she was on the Latvia side, like I'm talking about, you just look straight and she's like right there. And look, my ass, I was like, I'm gonna make sure she hear me. So, when she wasn't doing it, I was like, come on, sis, you got this. Like, those like those black motivation, words that you use. Because, I mean, she's in a sea of white people at this event. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to make sure she hear this melanin inspiration over here. Like, I'm like, yes, queen. That's my sis right there. There she is.
I know that's right.
Live for all of it. So Janet Jackson gonna be up on there. I don't know who else gonna be. If the rumor is true and Beyonce ends up having her Las Vegas residency, if they announce that in April, like the rumors are talking about, I'm gonna be up in that.
They're just taking all of our money
at
this point.
Look, they already know I'm broke. They're just playing with me. They already know I'm broke.
There's a conspiracy happening. Like they are getting all of like these artists to come out with all of their concerts and all new music or whatever, so we don't have any money towards the end of the year to do anything else.
And don't let Rihanna just secretly drop something this year too.
It's gonna be a wrap.
I'm gonna have to go sell my body on the street of these Atlanta streets and get some extra coins, some side money. So sorry, boo boo, sorry, honey. I'll be working late tonight to be able to buy you some tickets to Janet, Rihanna, and Beyonce.
Shoot, don't play.
Oh, girl. But all right, I think it might be that time of the episode.
And what time is it, girls?
What time is it?
You know what time it is.
Time for the percolator?
Oh, no. That too.
Time for the percolator. It's time for the percolator. Y'all know how that song come on.
You can't even hear the name of that song and not think of the rhythm.
Right. You
Absolutely.
Can. You can.
You do a little twerk with it. I don't even want to ask your aunties though. I just want to do the percolator.
I want to listen to that song. Oh my gosh.
Look, community, y'all better not pause this to turn on the percolator. You better not do it.
Right?
Wait till the end of the episode.
There's probably a whole host of people that's listening right now that have no idea what we're talking about.
Oh, they better know what the percolator is.
Are you kidding me? I'm just saying.
Like, they better know.
How?
I bet there's a whole bunch of people that are out there Googling, schmoogling right now.
Oh, no. Is that a generational gap right there? Is that a...
No.
I think it's a cultural thing.
Oh, it's a cultural
thing, probably.
Let me think. Is it a generational thing?
No.
I don't know.
No.
Okay. So it's a cultural
not a
thing.
Nair barbecue, wedding.
She said Nair.
not any black gathering. You know good well.
Tinty. That's when the words that don't exist start coming out.
Right.
When you get really comfortable. I'm not having none tinty of your mess.
Right. But we all know what you're talking about.
Right, exactly. Mm-hmm.
We might not know how to spell it either. Like sometimes I be trying to text certain words. I'm like, how do you even spell that? Like, I just know how to say it.
There's a lot of words like that. Like, when you say gone, like, I'm going to do this.
Right.
Like, you don't spell it Gone though.
No,
I just take the E off.
G-O-N-N-A.
I just take the E off. This is G-O-N. I'm gone.
Okay.
Gone.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm going to do this.
I'm going to do this.
Right.
I'm finna.
I'm
right.
finna.
Like, there's a bunch of words where you're like, how the hell do I type this? And then, like, your phone be, like, auto-correcting and shit.
Oh, my goodness.
You'd be like, oh. It's like,
can we get somebody black at Apple that can, like, put some words in?
That needs to be the next iOS update, okay? Look, for 2021, that's what we need for Black History Month. That's how Apple could thank us, okay?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Put some Ebonics up in there so we don't have to be dealing with this damn autocorrect all the time.
Girl,
Jesus.
All the time. Damn. But, all right, what time is it for real?
Okay. Ask your aunties.
Oh my God.
I love that I hear that music.
Right?
In my head, when we're saying it, I just... Yes.
And I love that it was like a one take too, because Kerel was like, I think I'm gonna do a little beat. And he sent the beat, and both Dawon were like, love it. Love it. I was like, come on, producer.
It's gotta be a little turnt.
Come on, producer. We were hyped. We were like, oh, this is real. We official.
Oh, like it's gotta be a little ratchet, a little lit, a little turn, and then off.
Just like us, y'all.
Oh man! All right, what is this week's aunties?
This week's, if she can pull her up. Oh, here it is. Okay. Let's see. This one is anonymous, actually. Okay. Question goes like this. Is age really nothing but a number? One of my best friends is a 34-year-old woman and has been dating a 21-year-old man. It drives me crazy because I think so much growth happens in your 20s and she deserves someone who's already grown up and she doesn't have to someone that she doesn't have to take care of. Would it be different if the man were older? I'm assuming she's referring to the 21-year-old. Is age really just a number?
So I was on Reddit earlier and I saw this post that be like, turning 30 means that you find a 23-year-old man attractive, but you won't say no to his daddy either. Like, you're in this weird, it's so true. Like, you're in this weird, age bracket where you're like, okay, I won't go anyone below 21 even though that's only like less than a decade away.
Right.
But at the same time, I won't go too far because I'm getting too close to like my parents' age. Like, like you're just, you're like, ooh,
21
to 42, but that daddy's
huh?
still cute as hell, though.
Right. Okay. But
daddies today look way different than they used to look 10 years ago or 20 years ago.
Y'all look great. I love y'all.
Yeah. Keep the glow up.
The shade is real, bitch. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Says the person that was just saying,
I heard her, and I'm taking all that praise, boo. Thank you. Right. Yes, come on. Shower me with compliments.
Hold on. Says the person who thought
you
they were
respect your elders.
Says the person who thought they were going to be a daddy coming their birthday this year. And we had to be like, no, you're still mid-30s, girl.
I know. I had a moment. And honestly, age has never been a factor for me, really. But I was just like, wow. It's just weird how it sneaks up to you because you don't say your age that often.
Yeah.
So until like you really sit and think, you're like, oh, I got a birthday coming. Damn.
Unless it's in a profile.
It's crazy. What you say?
Unless it's in a profile, then you might say it every day.
Right, facts. Or can't you take that out the profile too?
I don't know. I don't be on there like that.
I don't know. So
she's saved and sanctified now.
Okay, now yes, Jesus.
That's what they calling it.
Yes. It's called Sanctuary. Come on.
I heard that's that new app. Yo, don't let a bitch fool you. She out here dropping clues.
Save and Sanctify is the new app.
Right. You open it up and it has church bells.
It got Kirk Franklin music.
Not Kirk Franklin. Oh my God.
Look, the opening of the app is Better Days. Oh my gosh.
Okay, let's get back to this question.
To the question. Okay, so I tend to agree. I just think I can't help but to think about where I was mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually when I was 21 years old, and I did not have my stuff together as much as I do now at 32. Like knowing what I do now, I would have told other people to pass on me too because she wasn't ready. However, if people don't take that chance on you, no matter the age gap, you also don't learn. So you kind of have to be open to dating younger as well, even though they may not be as experienced, with the hope of they'll just get it, and you don't have to go through certain things to learn lessons the hard way. Mm-hmm. Some people should be. Not everyone can do it. It's a gift. But some people are good at learning by kind of associating with other people's experiences. Like I don't have to do the hard work or learn the lesson the hard way if Dawon already has the answers. You know what I'm saying? Like certain things I should be able to just pick up because someone else has taught me or helped me learn what the right or wrong is in that situation. But I personally would not date younger. Just because I don't got the time and the energy for it. I mean,
you said in the previous podcast, you tired of teaching people.
Look, I am.
How to be men.
No, you need to come pre-made. Okay, look. No, so
she said, I want these men's in freshly packs.
Look, so for me, it's either I say 27 is like the cutoff. As far as how far in my 20s I would go. Mm-hmm. If you're younger than 27, it'll be a no for me. But as far as going up, I'll probably say like 45, 47, like nothing more than that. Because my parents are 50 and 52 or going on 52. So I got to be careful with how high I go. Because then I'll be literally dating daddy status.
It's like, did I play you in high school? Were you on the JV?
Right. Coach, is that you? Oh, put me in, coach. No, let me stop.
That's funny. I've never had an age issue because there's a gap between Corey and I. Was it always my plan to do that? No. It's just like
what
you said. You with these moments, and I didn't even hear you, but I'm gonna hear it when I edit it. And like this bitch. So I never thought about it, but nor did I plan it because certain people, especially in the gay community, are just so stuck on, I gotta get a daddy, I gotta do this. or I got to get a youngin' and this and that. And that was never my thing. Mine is just like whoever I'm attracted to, whoever I fall in love with, whatever it may be, so be, you know. I think the age gap at where she's saying, like 34 to 21, I think that's a weird age gap just because, like she said, there is a lot that you grow from like 21 to say like 27, 28. Like those years are so crucial to your growth and your experiences and what you do and don't like. So, but if you like the person, like on the flip side of it, it's like if you like them and it's going well, it's going well. It is what it is. And I would never want to put a cap on love one way or the other. But the question, I mean, it's a valid question because me at 21 and me at like, say, 28, the growth in those years were monumental. Like you come out and you experience things and you date and this and that if you don't go through that, you might be stunting your growth a little bit at times because either the person you're dating might be like, oh, no, you don't need to do that. They might be putting a lot of their experiences on you and not even knowing that they're really doing it. And sometimes you just got to see for yourself, like you were saying, Jerrell. And then I guess to say if it's different if the man is older, I don't know. Like, I would say from just media and celebrity status, it kind of seems that way because you kind of like even at the Oscars you saw like Leonardo DiCaprio sitting front row with his girlfriend and he's like 45 and I think she's 22. And a lot of times you see kind of the man being older than the woman. And
but let's point out though, it takes men longer to mature than women though.
Exactly, maturity for sure. You
know, so I don't think it's necessarily wrong. I think if it's a woman, an older woman dating a younger man, I think it's more like, honey, save yourself the heartbreak, you know, because he's still baking, you know, like
that's true.
You know, it's more to, you know, just encourage you not to give yourself the extra stress in life, you know. However, it does suck because we know that a lot of older men who are mature prefer younger women. So it's like, it's kind of a double-edged sword for women that are older, you know, as far as finding age-appropriate men who are secure with being with someone their own age.
Yeah. And don't they say it sexually too, though? Like, they say men mature, or I guess just their sex drives peak at like early 20s or something like that. And a woman's is like mid-30s or almost 40s or so. Okay. So maybe just sexually, she's like, hey, let me just get this young whippersnapper and live my best life.
Right, until I can't no more. Hey.
I know, like my personal experience is I had always dated at and around my own age or like slightly older. I was never really attracted to younger looking guys. I was never really into like that twink kind of look. And I know this is like a hetero couple that we're talking about, but like for me, it was more like that kind of thing. I was just never attracted to that. But I will say that, you know, my partner and, you know, obviously the man that I love is, you know, like 11 years my junior. And if I would have stayed on that same kind of energy, I wouldn't have met him. Like we wouldn't have been together, you know, through, you know, 4 moves in 5 years and 3 states and, you know, all the stuff that we've gone through and that's made us stronger together. So, I don't know. Is age really just a number? I feel like with a lot of things, when we lump everything into one category, I think it becomes dangerous conversation, you know, because there are people who are 21 that are more mature than people that are 58.
Life experiences
and then,
make a
like
difference.
The thing, and just the energy that they're bringing to the table. Like when I was reading the question, the thing that kept popping in my head was, you know, God might not have brought the person that you wanted, but might have brought the energy that you needed. Do you know what I mean? So like maybe at this point in time in her life, she needs that 21-year-old energy, whatever it is that he's bringing to the table, you know, because I always feel like you attract what you need at that moment. You know, you get linked up with this isn't like just a hookup. This isn't like, oh, I found him on Tinder and I swiped right and, you know, we're going on a date and then that's it. That's what I'm getting from this is somebody that's really they're pursuing each other in a dating relationship of some kind that will maybe, you know, turn into something even more serious. And, you know, whether this would be a long-term thing for her or not, remains to be seen, as with if she were dating somebody that was her own age. So maybe, you know, instead of like putting it like all on him and like his immaturity and what we suspect about or attribute to somebody who's 21, maybe he's just bringing the energy that she needs right now.
Maybe he got that BDE. That's some energy. That's some energy right there now.
Especially at 21.
Okay. It's a whole move. She could
have been with a whole dud, a whole spud and a dud, and had no love. And now she's like, I'm getting it all. I want somebody that got some stamina. I want somebody that, you know, just bringing some different kind of energy. So I say, girl, get it. Yeah. However it is you can, get it. And if it's working for you, and you like it, I love it. So kudos to you, boo.
Yeah, I don't think there's an age. I don't think there's anything wrong with age. Like, for instance, I was 19 and I dated someone that was 14 years older than me. He was 33. And I've always been attracted to just like more mature people. Like Fiznik is like the youngest person I've dated. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know. And I realized at 33, like that man was a fucking scrub. Like, didn't have his shit together. And I had to
He was hanging out the passenger side?
Look, I mean, okay, he wasn't a real scrub, but he was a punk ass bitch.
Oh, that's even worse.
Right.
I hope you're listening.
I mean, I don't care. We don't talk. But I mean, like, it's one of those things where, like, I learned that age ain't nothing but a number by being in that relationship at at 19. You know, I learned that, okay, it doesn't matter if they're in their 30s. There's no reason why a 33-year-old is less mature than I am at 19. It's possible. But like you said, like, it's all about life experiences, you know, like I've been through a lot where I had to kind of grow up a lot earlier and, you know, recognize a lot of things about myself sooner than later. I came out on my 18th birthday. So I was kind of like ahead of the game in a different area than some people are when they first come out. So,
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's worked for me. I got married. So,
and let's not make no mistake. Like, I don't think any of us are saying like there aren't inherent like red flags that you should be cognizant of and just go into everything blind. Like, no, I don't think we're saying that because, you know, clearly with an age difference, there's life experience perhaps that, you know, could tear you two apart, you know, that not make you compatible, you know, but at the end of the day, I don't think that's less of a thing about how old they are and more of a thing about what life has brought them and what you need in your life. And so, you know, I just go back to the fact, listen, if they're happy right now and they're enjoying it, then, you know, give them big claps. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Especially as a friend. Claps. Like, I would hope as a friend, you're not trying to throw hardships into the relationship. Because, yes, it's probably going to be a little harder, at least at the first part of it because of the age gap, but they don't need additional stuff thrown at them from a friend group. So I would say just from that perspective, support them. If it doesn't work, be there for them. But if there was an age gap, that relationship that you were in, that it didn't work for you, doesn't always necessarily mean it's going to spell trouble for someone else's relationship.
Well, and I'm the other side of that, because we had this on the Ask Your Aunties a few months ago, and I'm that friend that's going to say something. So, like, you know, like I encourage, like, if you, I think it's cool to say something, but if they choose not to take your advice, let it go and move on. Right. You know, because we have to remember that our friends have to learn just like we learned. And guess what? You might be wrong, you know, because sometimes it works for some people. Like, everything ain't for everybody. So it could not be for you, but it could be for them.
Yes.
Facts. So, yeah.
And I think it's a really good question.
I know. I was just thinking, like, I'm glad. Like, we've been getting some really, really great, thoughtful, like, insightful, you know, really thought-provoking questions. And I'm glad that Anonymous asked this question, because this is something that, you know, I think is worth the dialogue. Mm-hmm. and understanding like different perspectives about how to like even approach this. Like, and this is coming from a different perspective. It's coming from the friend of, not the person in it, you know? And obviously it's the best of intentions. Like, oh, I only want the best for her, you know? And I feel like this might not be, you know, stepping in the right direction for her, you know? So thank you, Anonymous, for this question.
And even within an age gap, and I mean, not to prolong this too long, but there are sometimes that things that do bring, I guess, come to mind when there is an age gap just because simply of time, you know? It's just like, there's stuff that I think of just because of our age gap that I'm like, okay, how do we think long term? Do we start a family? Do we not start a family? You know, those kind of things, they're probably easier when you are closer in age. But love has no like bounds. So at the end of the day, if it works, it works. So I don't know, but
well,
I
question.
agree. Awesome question.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna move on to this new kind of curiosity. I don't think, did we ever come up with a name for it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Didn't we call it nasty?
Nasty.
Nasty.
Hey, community, I feel like I've branded myself as the nasty person. I'm really not the nastiest of the nasty. Sometimes the one be sneaking in there. I don't know. Hold on.
Sometimes it's very different than all the times, boo.
There you go.
I am just open with the conversation. I am very open.
Girl, you said that open like
but remember a couple episodes, I believe it was Jerrell and Nick, where they both looked at each other and said, "We good, boo. We good, boo." So they might be the undercover freaks. I'm just the one that's putting it out there.
No, ain't nothing undercover about this. I mean, maybe. Okay. So the first question I'm going to ask y'all.
What's the nature of this segment? What we doing?
It's going to be nasty.
Okay.
Nasty.
Okay. Here we go.
All right, so let's start with the first question. Do y'all brush before giving a blowjob?
No.
Same.
Do you brush after?
No, that's
the real tea. Not every single time. No.
Actually, a lot of times it depends on what you're doing afterward.
Facts. Absolutely.
Because one thing can lead to another.
I mean, it depends if you're not quitting. Because if you're not quitting, you don't want to like make your gums raw and like subject yourself to possible like infection of an STI within your mouth. Yes. So you don't want to brush before and after because you can increase bleeding and all the rest of that stuff happens. So if you ain't quitting and you going through the marathon and you going to the finish line, don't brush after for at least 30 minutes. Save the flavor.
Thank you, Dr. Jerrell.
Do a little taste test.
You get that random hair in the back of your throat.
Fact.
I mean, coughing and wheezing.
That's the worst. That's like all the way real. I know people are probably like, okay, Kerel, you went over the line, but that's a real ass statement. Y'all know you've been there.
You get that one hair that's stuck on your tongue that won't move.
Right? That's the worst.
Like, especially during the blowjob, because you be like, I don't want this to go in my throat. So you be like moving your tongue around and you be like, he probably like this anyway. So, you're like trying to move it from the back of your tongue to the front. You're like rolling your tongue. Like you rolling your R's.
I cannot stand y'all.
It's a 2-for-1, You're like, oh. And then you try to play it off.
This some real ass shit though. There's some real ass stuff on a Monday morning.
It really is. It really is. Okay, next question. How often should a bottom be ready for sex?
Oh, wow.
Wait, how often should what?
How often should a bottom be ready for sex? Do you think there's like a special number? Like,
no. No. Because, I mean, we've all been in those situations, and I'm assuming, I guess, but never mind.
No, go for it, girl. Don't get shy now. Come on, you already branded yourself.
You can't be ready all the time, like, because I know some people are like, "Oh, I can't eat that. I can't do this." That. And I'm like, "Bitch, eat, eat. Like I ain't about to subject my life to always having to stay ready, and I don't project that on my husband. You know, it's just like life happens. Like you're not just gonna be eating rabbit food all day every day. Sometimes you want Taco Bell.
I mean, but shit happens also too, though. So I mean, you're kind of
but it's just like
chalupas.
I mean, Gordita Crunches and shit. So I mean, if you want to Gordita Crunch, I just know that it might not be when we want it to be, and vice versa. But no, I think that's no. I think that's stupid to put that pressure on somebody to be all the time ready.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think if you know you getting in where you fit in, I mean, hey, stay ready if you want to. But I'm with you, Kerel. Like, bitch, eat. Like, go ahead.
I guess it also depends on like how messy you really are.
That's
like
part two.
Because there are people that physiologically don't have any control over even whatever they eat. That just, you know, they may need more maintenance than others.
Well, here's a little tip too. Fiber helps a lot. Like, make sure you're getting your fiber intake.
Yeah, because you never know how far they're going in your guts. So you know you gotta make sure
people
that
are like, I don't know what they're talking about right now. This has no relevance whatsoever to my sex life.
Or there might be some straight people that I'm just
educational moment,
educational, or they know.
But
too.
you know, to be fair, I know a lot of my straight female friends that are into anal too. So
that's what I was thinking.
It's kind of becoming a trend. So I mean,
there's a lot of people that just caught that. They're like, oh, that's what they're talking about.
Oh, Lord. Catch up. Come on. Catch up.
Okay. All right. Next question.
That's a lot of pressure to stay ready, though.
It is. It really is. Okay. Next question. Do you feel like a completely different person post-nut?
I'm going to say yes. 100%.
I think everybody does. I think everybody does. Because, like, you don't even be thinking coherently. Like,
no.
Your one goal is that. Like, there's nothing else on planet Earth at that moment.
That's so true.
But the second that orgasm, like, subsides, you're like, oh, shit. Like, what did I just do with my life?
I forget what movie I was watching, but like the mom was like giving her daughter advice for her marriage, and she was like, the way I got what I wanted in the marriage was after he came, I always asked him for things because he was confused. So he'd always be like, yes. I was like, damn, that's smart as fuck.
That's real as hell.
That's
either immediately after or like immediately like before. Especially maybe even immediately before because you really don't give a fuck.
Oh my God. Yes.
Like, that's funny. Lord have mercy.
Look, I mean, it's like it's literally like jumping in a cool pool on a hot day afterwards. You know, just like your hair. Look, I'm bald headed as fuck, but I'm telling you, afterwards, bitch be feeling like Rapunzel. Be like, let's put this bitch in a big ass bun. Like, woo, where my sweatpants at?
Like, oh man, that's a funny question. Man, we just be giving the community all our business.
We so do. We so do. Okay.
We about to ask y'all too, though, community.
Look, for real. Okay, so this is more of a like, would you rather? Would you fuck the guy your ex cheated on you with? Would you ever get revenge by fucking the guy or the person your ex cheated on you with?
Depends how hot it is. Depends how hot he is. No, just playing. No, I'm not a vengeful person like that. So probably not.
I would.
We figured you probably
Why
would.
are we not surprised?
First of all, I'm comparing notes.
As I say in my Kyle Baker's voice.
No, the Capricorn to me is like, no, I need to know the numbers. The Capricorn to me is like trying to get the logic behind this. I was like, so what's the difference? I need to know. Like, can this person do this better than me? Can this person do this better than me? Like, you know, like, in my head, I'm thinking, because I'm one of those people, like, if I don't know, I'm going to always ask that why. Why?
Oh, see, I'm not like that.
Why?
At least not in that regard.
And I guess, it wouldn't be out of revenge to hurt them. It would literally just to ease my own mind more so as to why would someone leave me for someone else?
Wow, that's a deep rooted question.
Mm-hmm. That's the only reason why.
I cut people off. I just cut them off. It's a wrap. It's done. I don't care about you. I don't want to have anything to do with you. It's like if that's the hurt that you cause, it's a wrap. That's wasted energy. No, I'd rather move on. I'd rather like have my own glow up, live my own best life, and have you like trolloping with whomever you need to trollop with. But
look,
best
anything
of
you
life
can
to
do,
you.
I can do better. Look, don't play.
Yeah, I don't think me sleeping with the other person would be anything that had to do with the ex. Like, it would be
for me.
It would solely be I was either also attracted to that human being, and somewhere down the line it happened, but it would have nothing probably to do with my ex.
I mean, a hole can also be a hole. So, I mean, you just never know.
Say again?
A hole can also be a hole. So, you know.
We have said that. We have said a hole is a hole. And sometimes you just got to get off.
Now, look, the real tea is if you didn't know who your ex has slept with and you ended up sleeping with them anyways and found out after the fact because you know that community is like.
That sounds like some Jerry Springer stuff.
Look, the community is really that damn small.
Right,
it honestly is. It honestly
like you think it was a lot. No, there ain't nothing but 1 degree of separation.
Well, okay, so this is another question. I didn't even find this one. So what's the stance on dating or hooking up with your friend's ex?
Nope.
No,
I can't.
That's just too messy.
I can't.
For me.
It's incestuous for me. Like I know people that will sleep with their friend group, like will like sleep with them, like. And
are they still friends?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And it hasn't caused issues or nothing.
Not that I'm aware of. Not really. No.
Well, cool.
It's just I don't know. And here's the thing. I love it. Yeah, like I'm like that's not like a judgment thing. It's just like my brain doesn't work that way. Like if I see you as a friend, like that's it. And that means that anybody that you are with is off limits.
Yes.
Because it's for me, I'm not saying that it is weird, but I'm saying for me, it's weird.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure there's circumstances where like things have happened in a roundabout kind of way, but I would never like go looking for, like within my network for dating. And actually, I always found it, and actually Adam and I share this in common. Like, it's almost like a moment of pride to know that you're dating somebody, you're interested in somebody, and no one else knows them.
Yeah.
Like nobody in your group like has, been with them or whatever.
I agree.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. And I guess that part though, like that second part you just said, I don't know if I care too much of that. I mean, I guess it just depends how many of the friend group have been that person. Like, but like if everyone has a past, and that, like if it just happens that you knew someone and in the past it happened, I can't control that part. Would I ideally want that to be the case? No, but I'm not gonna stress myself out. And obviously, I've been out of that pool for so long, I don't even know those emotions anymore. but yeah. Anyway, okay. What's the next question?
Next question. Eating ass, take it or leave it.
Nom nom, bitch. SOMF.
Nom yum.
Hashtag SOMF.
Gobble them up.
It's a no for me, Paula. It's a no for me.
Really?
I might lick my finger and then like flick the booty hole a little bit to like as if it's the tongue. I got boom, 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 boom. But no, my tongue, no.
Really?
No.
I'm here for it. My whole friend group knew that answer. They hear me say nom nom or hashtag SOMF all the time.
And see, this is the person who's saying he doesn't understand why he's queen of the nasties.
I'm just open with my nom nomness.
Yes, we know how open you are, Kerel.
Oh Lord, sorry, Mom.
It's a little late. A little late for that one.
Way late.
This one's not nasty, but it's deep. Is it
Oh,
better
no
to
pun
end
intended.
up with someone you really like / enjoy, but can't bring yourself to fully love? Or to be with someone who you can love so much that you're completely vulnerable and potentially lose your own identity?
Oh, God. You got me thinking.
Say that one more time.
Yeah, say the first one again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it better to end up with someone you really like / enjoy, but can't bring yourself to fully love? Or to be with someone you love so much that you're completely vulnerable and potentially lose your own identity?
See, I was with that second one all the way until you said potentially lose your identity. I'm glad to be vulnerable. Like, I think that's what you ultimately want in a relationship, is to literally be your 100% self, even if that leaves you vulnerable. But then to lose yourself, I don't think you have to lose yourself if you're vulnerable. So that's the part of that second one that I'm troubled with.
See, for me, like I get that second part, because like I know people who have like just given their all just to make something work, and they end up changing themselves solely just to make that relationship work with someone. I think it means in that sort, like instead of like, instead of staying true to your core values and what you want out of something, that you throw it all away, the baby in the water, just to make that relationship work.
See, now that you say it that way, I might have to lean towards the first one then.
Yeah. I don't think anything is worth sacrificing yourself to the point that you're not yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
And if the love was reciprocating, then you wouldn't lose yourself.
But what about the risk of getting to that point? Because love comes from somewhere. It doesn't just happen. I mean, it's not just something that you can plan. It happens on its own. So I think you have to kind of do the second part to even get to that point of love. Because I'm assuming the question in the first part is saying that you're kind of always in a relationship being like, well, so what's next? What are we doing? Like, here we are, like 12 years later, and we don't really have a game plan. Like, you kind of feel like you're just in limbo with someone.
So what's your answer then?
I'm gonna be vulnerable. I'm gonna go the vulnerable route, because at least, again, the logical person in me is going to try to always figure something out. And I'm always trying to learn. And two, my dumbass loves a fucking challenge. Like, I'm the person who'd be like,
like, I'm gonna love you.
Look, I'm the one that like, you got two roads. You can skip down the yellow brick road with daisies and butterflies, or you can go down to Jason's horror house with Freddy Krueger. Oh, that looks cute. I can beat their ass. Let's go. I'm always choosing the harder road. I don't know what it is. With so much that I do in my life, I've always just been that person to choose a harder road.
I think fundamentally in the second part of the question, it's like, it depends on what you emphasize in the question. Like, it's, if you're emphasizing at the risk of like losing yourself, but you're like in love, the love is reciprocating, and it's only the risk, then I think it's worth the risk, because in my view, you have to be vulnerable, to really give into all that love has to offer you, right? As opposed to being like so calculated that, you may have like a lifelong companion, but you never know what that feeling of love is, because you've settled for companionship and not like love. So I think everybody who...
But would you throw away your morals and everything like he said?
That's what I'm saying. It depends on what you emphasize. If the question is, if it's at the risk of, but it doesn't mean that you actually do. It just means that you're at the risk of it. Then
I think
it's
that's
worth
what we do
the
all
risk.
day, every day. Yeah,
it's worth the risk. But if it's, you fall in love with someone and as a result lose yourself, I think that's a completely different scenario.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I agree.
That was a good one.
Yeah. Even though now that we use our brains, let's go back to the nasty train. So would you rather never hear music again or never have sex again?
Could you masturbate?
I'm assuming sex means any type of orgasm.
Oh, damn. Oh, see, music is just so huge for me. Wow, this is a tough one.
Look, we all crickets. I honestly,
I would say never have sex again. And the only reason I say that is because music gives me so much joy at any time during the day and night and weekends, all the time. And not to say that sex does not, but sex is a sometimes thing, whereas music is an always thing, as an all the time thing, all the time thing. You know, like I listen to music when I'm like cranking stuff out at work.
Same.
Like I'm tuning everybody else out. I'm listening to music, even though I'm not really listening to it. It's part of that routine. So for me to not have that for the rest of my life ever, and if I think about like let's call it the last 20 years of my life, you know, if I, you know, knock on wood, am able to live into like my late 90s and, you know, even early hundreds, the last 20 years, I'm probably not having sex. So, but I would be listening to music. So I feel like if I had to make a choice today and know that from this point on, I could either have one or the other, I would choose music.
Like my gut instantly said music. And then I started thinking more. So usually I try to go back to the gut side and be music. And mine is almost solely, I don't even know my life without music.
Same.
Yes, listening, but like it coming out of me. Like I literally, even last night, like I literally wake myself out of sleep with ideas of melodies, and like it's so ingrained in my DNA that I wouldn't even know what life would be without it. Like to say it just like right now, it left me, I would be so crushed and so lost that it's like I wouldn't want to orgasm then, and I would, you know. And so that's like the gut part of me. But damn, a good orgasm is nice. But I think I agree with Dawon. It's just like it's just so all day, every day that it would be soul crushing for me to not have that capability to hear music.
Those videos that they do of like people when they strip all the music out and you just hear them stomping on the ground.
Yeah. Oh, I would hate that.
That would be life.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That would be life.
Oh, can you imagine watching Coachella without any of the music? No. Beyonce's Homecoming, I should say. Let me be clear.
Right.
Watching Coachella and not being able to hear any of the music? No. I agree with both you guys. Music is just so much of who I am, and like so much of I find so much mental stability with just listening to music and finding inspiration and courage, you know, during positive times and, you know, negative times through music. And like, I'm not as much of a sexual person. Like when I am, it's like, bam, you know, but then, you know, she's like, all right, she's going to recharge for a while. So, you know, with AirPods in, you know, and I listen to music every day too. So I couldn't imagine like not having music in my life. It's such a great way to express yourself. And it is also such a universal language too. Like you can listen to music of any culture and just feel the beat and the melody and the rhythm and just understand what the artist is trying to express without even understanding the words. Like
absolutely, music
is just so powerful.
I mean, like that's why classical's been one of the top genres ever of human race. Has no words in it, but you literally feel what that music is doing.
Yes.
It's such an unwritten language that it says things that you cannot verbally say.
Do you guys feel like your answers would be the same if you were 10 years younger?
Honestly, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so, because it's just something from a kid. It's been something like, I mean, I just remember being a kid. Like, did y'all have like the cleaning playlist? You knew what time it was when certain like 90s songs came on. Like, let some Janet Jackson Nasty come on. You know, like some Whitney Houston come on. Like, you knew it was time to clean. Or there was, my parents
Ours
also
was always gospel.
See, and then so like, my parents, would like have like a certain soundtrack when we knew there was like, okay, you hear this music, that means don't disturb them because they haven't grown sexy time. You know, like you heard Velvet Rope come on and you're like, okay.
Not Velvet Rope.
All right. So we gonna stay downstairs. You know, we going to our friend's house. Grandma come get us. Like, cause there about to be more of us, you know.
Sure. Anytime, any place, come on.
Mm-hmm. I get so lonely. Look, don't look.
That's funny. No, literally, it's so funny. Like, that's the one thing I didn't have growing up is a lot of the, I guess, quote unquote, normal cleaning list because it was gospel 99% of the time. Mm-hmm. And so, like, I knew every gospel song, every gospel artist, everything, but there would be like classic, like, call it African American music, R&B, blues, whatever music that everybody else knew that I would have to hear at like my friends' places because we didn't play it in the house at all. It was literally Dottie Peoples and Shirley Caesar and Kurt Franklin, and like, so I knew all that, and I was like the one who had to learn the songs to teach the choir and everything. So I was sitting there practicing these songs, like, so like gospel was so ingrained in me that it was almost when I had to get into my teens to hear it at friends' places, or even like, honestly, it was more at like my friend Chris's place. They hear the Whitneys, they hear the Mariahs, they hear the Temptations, they hear the Isleys, because I was not hearing it. Like, to the point, like, my dad gave his record collection away of all the stuff he grew up on because he was a pastor, and that was what we were listening to. So it was literally until, like, 13, 14 when I started to hear more of the classic records that everybody knows now. It's interesting.
I was just wondering, like, you know, on the flip side, like for those that are in like their early 20s, they might not have experienced sex enough. So it's like, oh, well, you know, I'm still like, you know, like trying to get as much as I can, try to do as much as I can, try to like, you know, do as many positions as I can. Like, you know, everything in like your, you know, like your late teens and early 20s is about trying to do everything. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And then I'm not saying that stuff, like, you don't have ambitions, sexual ambitions or whatever when you're out of, you know, your 20s, but like you've been there, you've done that. So it's not as much of a, you know, hunger to like do as much, but you still certainly enjoy it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
all right, so last question. Okay. We're good on this segment. All right. Would you rather piss yourself every time someone asks what your name is, or shit yourself whenever someone you don't know says your name?
Yeah, say that again.
Oh.
So, would you rather piss yourself every time someone asks you what is your name, or shit yourself whenever someone you don't know says your name?
I'll take this one. I'll shit myself whenever somebody I don't know says my name, because my name is so irregular that it would rarely ever happen.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking the same thing, because there's not too many Kerels out there.
But you know, the thing that sucks is every time you pick up the phone to talk to somebody in customer service or whatever, you would have to shit yourself.
I guess I ain't going to customer service no more.
Right.
You know, like, you know, you gotta call the cable company because your cable's out. Well, Kerel.
You just call on the toilet. That's what you do.
Right. Like, you take every work meeting from the bathroom. Like, here we go.
They hear that reverb of the bathroom. They're like, Kerel, are you in the bathroom?
Oh, gotta mute myself.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. That's funny. That was a good one.
Could you imagine all the water weight you would lose if you peed yourself every time somebody you knew said your name?
Girl, just be dehydrated.
Right.
Oh, God.
Skeletor.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I agree. I think I would have to shit myself, too. Because, I mean, like, think about, like, every time you go to the gay bar, like, you meet a friend of a friend, and like, what's your name is?
See?
Yeah.
I didn't piss myself, so you don't want to know my name, so thank you.
Yeah.
Right. Like, look, I might as well not have music anymore in my life.
Look,
just wear an adult diaper.
Right.
Yeah, can't have sex. Right. Could you imagine? Either way, sex would be terrible.
Horrible. Kerel. Like, and then like when you're hard and you like trying to pee, like it's a rat.
That's
like it hurts.
almost impossible.
Hey, you know what? Look, there's some people are into that, so they would probably love the say my name part.
You're right.
Come through S&M community.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, IML coming up again.
Oh Lord.
Maul was just a couple weekends ago in DC. But yeah, community, be ready. We're about to put these questions up for you, and y'all better respond. I hate when y'all don't be responded. Y'all be passing to the IG story like you don't see that
question. They'll slide in the DMs. They'll slide in the DMs and be like, "Oh, your answer this was this and this or whatever." But then when we post, ask the same questions, they be silent.
They be silent.
Mm-hmm.
Or what they do is they'll just like the picture. They'll like the picture said, say something, type something, share your feelings, and you got people liking a picture. Come on now.
Well,
they probably feel that they like it, so that's a feeling.
I guess so. But the community, thank you for rocking with us. Yes. Continue to subscribe, share, download. That's a key. Like, I know a lot of you guys probably stream the episode, but if you could, click the download, and then you could just delete it and stream it like you normally do. But at least click the download for us so we can continue to get our numbers up and all that good stuff, so we can get sponsors and everything like that. That helps us out. But I think that's it for now.
Yeah, and remember, President's Day is canceled until we get one. So,
that part. Ooh. That whole part. And on that note, I'm out, bitch. Bye.
Right. Bye, y'all.
Have a good week.